Hey friends, it's Tess. This is Wonder Wealthy. Welcome back to the Financial Glow Up series. Over the course of this summer, I'm sharing my best tips, tricks, advice, just things to start thinking about as you make that transition from college to career. And today we're talking all about how to budget your first paycheck. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos, especially if you don't want to miss a thing in this Financial Glow Up series. Now, budgeting is a funny word. I think that it can trigger some of us in a way because it feels kind of like a diet. It feels like it's supposed to be restrictive. But I've always prided myself on helping people budget their money, even if they have a lot of money that they need to just make sure they're managing properly. So you're probably entering this phase where you're going to get a job, or maybe you have a job and you're wondering, how do you manage now this influx of cash that is coming into your bank account? I think the first thing you need to know is that what you signed on the dotted line for in your offer is not actually what you're going to get. And you've probably recognized this if you've already been paid. Your paycheck is going to be deducting certain taxes and insurance, and then you kind of get to decide if you have any pre-tax benefits that you want to set aside as well before you get anything that's gonna be dropped into your bank account. So it's super important just to recognize and know mentally that what you see, what they tell you you're going to get, and if you divide that by 12, let's say it's a salary, that's not actually what you're going to be making every month. Now, speaking of these things being deducted from your paycheck, that leads me to number 2, is to take advantage of these pre-tax benefits if you can. You will most likely be provided with the opportunity to set some money aside in maybe a 401k or any other type of employer-sponsored retirement plan. This is something you will want to take advantage of, and especially if your employer offers matching contributions, check what that percentage is and try to contribute that much at the very least. Do this for the first month or two so that you can get a feel for the rest of your cash flow coming into your bank. Make sure that you can cover all your other expenses as well, but you do want to take advantage of this because it is free money. If you contribute up to that employer match, they're gonna contribute money for you, and that's an immediate 100% return on your investment. You might also take advantage of some other pre-tax benefits like perhaps an HSA or other type of health insurance account, as well as other types of insurance like disability or life. Now, you really need to sit down and make sure this is the right choice for you. I wouldn't go and just sign up for all of them right off the bat, but meeting with a financial planner, coach, professional, or even the HR department might be able to help you make a better, wiser decision there. But once you get all of that squared away, then you can look at what's actually getting deposited into your bank account. Now, this is where the real budgeting comes in, and it leads me to step number 3, which is make sure that you set aside the money that's going to be needed for your fixed expenses. These are the expenses you generally pay in order to just maintain a livable lifestyle. It's gonna be your rent payments, your utility bills, maybe a car payment or insurance payments, as well as potentially student loan payments. All things you are required to pay in order to just be able to eat, sleep, and have shelter. Now, the eating piece is a bit subjective. That might trickle into more of a discretionary expenses account, so you don't need to worry about estimating how much that cost is going to be quite yet, because we're gonna move on to prioritizing your savings, and that is number 4, the most important thing to do when you're budgeting your first paycheck, is prioritizing those savings before you start spending on lifestyle inflation. What I mean by this is figure out how much you need to have in an emergency savings fund, divide it by 12 or 24, and start putting money immediately away into a separate savings account that's specific for emergency savings. That way, you save it before you even get the chance to spend it. You can do this with other goals that you have, like paying off debt, so setting aside or making those additional principal payments right when you get paid instead of hoping you have money left at the end of the month to make those payments towards debt, because you most likely won't. Or saving for things like my personal favorites, weddings and gifts, or travel. You could also be saving for some medium-term things like a home, a new car, maybe getting married, having a couple kids. These are all goals that you will probably have in your life, and they come with a financial cost. So figure out what your goals are and note that it's a good time now, especially now that you're making money, to start setting that money aside. The trick here is if you can set money aside before you're allowed to spend it, you'll actually achieve your financial goals. And that leads me to the fifth and final step of budgeting your first paycheck and any paycheck that goes into the future, and that is to see what money you have left, and now that is the money you get to spend on those discretionary items. So this obviously does include your food, especially eating out or going and getting coffees, but it can also include things like going shopping or going to the movies or buying books on Amazon. All of those additional lifestyle costs that we're definitely more than allowed to spend money on, and you should be spending money on it as long as you get your savings taken care of. But I think sometimes we approach this the wrong way. We finally see money coming into our bank account and we go and spend it on that new pair of shoes we wanted and forget entirely about needing to build up our emergency savings fund. So if you do your budget and you budget your paycheck in this order, you will set yourself up for great financial success and truly make that transition from college to career and go through a legitimate, savvy financial glow up. Then you'll be set. So those are the 5 steps to budget your first paycheck and beyond. And now I want to hear from you. What questions do you have about your financial glow up period or this transition from going from college to career? Let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss more videos all about that financial glow up phase. If you want to continue the conversation, you know you can always join the Wealthy Wanderers private Facebook group. Go to wanderwealthy.com/FB, and until then, I will see you next time. Hope you wander wealthy. Bye.